let's take the cap off and spin around to see the area.
Well, my hair just started thinning here towards the back. It has hit my confidence quite a bit.
In Wayde's case, he has sufficient donor area to perfectly cover this crown.
Like I said, I just want a full head of hair, that's all I want. I wanted this to get, sorted out as soon as possible, so yeah. So I look at you, I don't look at the camera, right?
What do you feel? Do you feel comfortable looking at the camera?
No, it's better looking at you. My name is Wayde Jooste. I'm a footballer.
Jooste! He has scored!
And I'm here to get a hair transplant. I used to Google hair loss stuff a lot and think about, do I need a hair transplant and things like that. And I saw that it was very popular in other countries. Like I'm sure you know about Turkey and places like that. So I wasn't aware that in South Africa we also do it. And then when I saw that they do it here, and I got excited because I was in Durban. I saw thinning towards the back of my head, and I didn't feel comfortable at all. Felt kind of shy because you know how people are, and you know how guys are especially. So yeah, I just thought, no, what? Let's try and fix it. Well, my hair just started thinning here towards the back. And yeah, like I said, I realized it a couple of years ago. Like I said, I just want a full head of hair, that's all I want. The worst part about losing my hair has been obviously not being comfortable going out in public places, where people can actually see and it's visible and things like that. So like you've mentioned also, it has hit my confidence quite a bit. As a professional sportsman as well, I'm always on the TV and things like that, and that's not a sight that you want to see. I wanted this to get, sorted out as soon as possible, so yeah.
Welcome back.
How are you?
Good. Wayde, so we have met before and we've consulted initially probably about 8 months ago. And now we're finally coming up on the day of the transplant. We have delayed this for a period of time because Wayde was in the in-season, but now in the off-season he has some time for recovery. So in that time period we've gone through some medications that we're using as well as in-clinic treatments. And this has improved hair in some of the regions, but not entirely delivered on what it is that Wayde was looking for. So that's why we've selected transplant surgery to give full coverage to the crown area that we'll have a bit of a look at later. So before tomorrow, let's try and get some of the questions that you might have out the way and that which you might find useful for other people looking into this.
I'd just like to know, how long does the procedure take?
The average hair transplant procedure ranges from about 6.5 to 8.5 hours, and it's entirely dependent on how many follicles are we going to be using to give you the coverage that we need.
Okay. And how long after the procedure is done will I be able to start training again or be active?
Okay, so the grafts are quite vulnerable in the early stages. First 3 days, zero activity. After that, some light walking can happen, but you don't want to be sweating or straining significantly. So I'd say 10 days until you're safe to get back into light training, 2 weeks before you start stepping it closer to what you used to.
I got told early on that somebody had to drop me off in the morning before the procedure and pick me up again afterwards. Why won't I be able to drive myself and drive myself back home?
Okay, good question. So the procedure is done under some light sedation, and this is oral medication that helps you to fall asleep, and the rest of it is local anesthetic that's injected to numb the area. The tablets, however, can make you quite drowsy, so we don't think that it's safe to drive yourself back home after the procedure. The following day though, when you come in for your post-op check, you're more than welcome to drive yourself to and back from the clinic safely.
Okay, I have one more question. The hairs that you're going to be using in the hair transplant, where would you be getting them from?
So most preferable for scalp hair transplants, what we're doing is we take it from the regions on the hair, mostly the back all the way around the sides. And I'll point this out to you a little bit later, but these hairs are resistant to male pattern hair loss. So when we move them, the hairs will grow permanently in that area. Okay, so now that we have those questions out the way, let's go through next door and see what the plan is going to be for tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Wayde, enough anticipation. Let's take the cap off and spin around to see the area. So it's quite clearly marked where the area of thinning is, and where the transplant is going to be is into this region that is thinned, but also into some of the pre-existing hair to make sure that it blends seamlessly and you cannot detect that the transplant has been done. When we're referring to the donor region we spoke about earlier, this area is going to be from roughly in line with the ear on the sides of the scalp, through the back, and all the way through to in front of this hair. Important to note is that where the hairs are extracted from, they're not going to regrow. We are literally relocating them into this new area. So the balance needs to come in with how large is the area that you need to cover versus how much donor hair is available. In Wayde's case, he has sufficient donor area to perfectly cover this crown. Okay, perfect. Now you can spin around for us. So the hair transplant is divided into 3 main parts for tomorrow. The first is going to be the planning, which we have an idea of already today. The extraction of the hair follicles. Then we're going to take a short break, give you some lunch, and come back for the final part, which is the implantation.
Okay.
Any other questions for tomorrow?
No. I'm
Fantastic.
just excited.
Awesome. Well, then we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. See you.
Okay.